Hi everybody and welcome to The Girls. Today we are on location at a very special place. We're going to show you some great things later on. We are at Kimmy Slusser's house here in the Hazleton area, and we are sitting at this beautiful counter. They made us a wonderful holiday drink.
They did.
We have some pomegranates with champagne, and let's give a little toast.
Cheers.
Here's to a good show, and here's to our
show.
hostesses.
Yes, today we are going to talk about the holidays, of course, but with the holidays come all the fun parties and the gatherings and the outings, and they say you will gain, 10 to 12 pounds, at least 10 pounds during the holiday season. So this is going to be a show on keeping you healthy for the holidays.
Keeping you healthy for the holidays. Well, talking about the holidays, I'm excited because we have our decorations all up already, and that's one thing off the checklist. Then we have the checklist of gifts and going shopping. Who doesn't like to shop? Too bad. We love to shop,
We
right?
do love to shop.
Yeah, we're the shoppers. And I like the shirt you have
like
on
it.
because when we're shopping, of course,
funny
Janine
as
takes
heck.
a lot of pictures. Have your selfie a Merry Little Christmas.
Had some humor to the show. There's nothing wrong with a couple selfies.
Well,
no matter what anyone says, you do what you want.
Yeah, you're the selfie queen with your selfie stick and the whole bit, but you're not selfie-ish.
Selfie-ish.
You're not selfie-ish because Christmas is giving. We're always buying gifts for people.
It is.
So that's the fun part too. And then there's the parties. And that's what we're talking about here today.
Let's go back to the decorating. I'm sure some of you at home might be going away for the holidays, or maybe you're going to visit loved ones or friends and you won't be at your house. So do you decorate? Don't you decorate? It's kind of a catch-22 there.
Well, who do you decorate for? I decorate for myself.
True.
So I don't care if I'm going to be home, if I'm going to be out, if people are coming or not, how many people coming, but I love to decorate to get you in the spirit. And just look at the beautiful decorations around in here that Kimmy put up. And if you came in and these weren't here, it's almost like, you need
Well,
the
I normally
twinkle
put a
lights.
couple trees up because I like to have a real tree, and then we have a couple fake trees. So maybe artificial trees. So maybe we'll just put the real tree up, and because we're going to be away around the holidays.
Nice for you.
Thank you.
Goody, goody. Well, I'll be home. I'll look at your decorations.
I'll put
We have
them up for
decorations
you.
on our trees outside all year long. In fact, our neighbors tease us. They go, "Is it Christmas already?" For me, it's Christmas all the time. I
Yes.
just like having all the lights up and just being, prettied up or whatever. I fuss for everything.
All right, so when it comes to the buying, let's talk about that.
The buying of what?
Buying
My
of
gift? What are you buying me
gifts.
this year?
I don't know what I'm buying you this year, but I feel like we buy all year round. So during the holidays, we step back and say, especially with Thanksgiving coming and looking at Christmas as well, to have our children pick a family and make them be responsible for giving gifts to people throughout the area. Also, when we talk about fitness, this is the first year that Mark and I, my husband, are going to be on a turkey run on Thanksgiving morning. So we're excited about that too.
That's good. You got very fit and trim
so
this year,
be excited
and
about
the kids will be. Where will the kids be?
Yeah, the kids will be.
They'll be running
they'll
with
just
you.
be around.
Well, you did say the right thing about giving, and so it is a good season of giving. It's not all for us, and the older we get, the more we do like to give, because we are very fortunate that we do receive all year long. When we need something, we go get it. It wasn't like years ago, but a lot of people don't have that opportunity. So let me just take this chance to remind you, if you don't have to be reminded, but look for somewhere, either a church group or something in your area, and donate either your time, some food, or some money, because they could use it. There are a lot of homeless people as well.
Yes, take
So
one
open your
family,
heart.
one person, do one thing. If everyone did that, be a very nice holiday season.
Right, and it gets a lot back for your heart. Okay, well, stay with us, because when we come back, we're going to start learning some little recipes that are good little tricks for having a happy time at the holidays and not having to step on the scale and say, I could kill myself.
All right, we're here at Kim Slusser's house, but they are core fitness girls, and they have some healthy tips for us coming up. You're watching the girls here on SSP TV and SSPTV.com.
Welcome back to the girls, and we are so very pleased to welcome our guests. We have Kimmy Slusser and Chrissy, and they're from Core Fitness. They're the Core Fitness girls. We've seen them before. They're friends of ours as well. And we're in Kimmy's house today. She was gracious enough to have us here.
Yeah, I said we're the guests here today.
We are.
They're the guests on the show. We're the guests here in their home.
And you're getting to see a peek as well, but they have some great things laid out in front of us. I have all the aromas that are hitting me in the nostril area, of course, where I'm smelling all of this great stuff.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision,
We wish you had
exactly.
that.
That's what we need. I'm trying to describe it, but you made these beautiful cocktails for us at the beginning of the show. And why don't you show everybody, Kimmy, how nice and how easy it
They're
is
so
to make
simple.
these.
It's just pomegranate seeds and a little bit of the juice in each glass.
And that's fresh pomegranate
Fresh
juice from the
pomegranates,
pomegranate.
yes. They're a little bit cumbersome to peel, but they're worth it because you get lots and lots of seeds out of it. They're full of potassium, so you're also getting some nutrients and fiber, and a pretty holiday drink, and it's so simple.
And so if you haven't seen them, this is what a pomegranate would look like in the grocery store. And a little trick that I use is I kind of thump on the outside of it before I cut it, and it will loosen up those seeds from the membrane. And then you can just take each half over a bowl and just gently squeeze it, and they'll pop out. If you get any membrane in it, you can just pick it right out, and then you end up with a beautiful pink drink.
And it's just a little Prosecco on top, and you're good to go. Here's yours.
We're going to talk about some traditions today.
We need
Cheers.
to
So we
have
have
a
to do a little
toast
cheers.
to the girls. Thank you for coming.
girls.
And we're excited to share with some healthy recipes with you guys.
Thank you so much. So today we're going to focus on appetizers.
We are. So we thought we could talk about going to holiday parties and the pitfalls. Janine had mentioned there could be upwards of 10 pounds gained between Halloween and New Year's Eve, and that is due to just holiday parties and buffets and not really realizing what you're putting in your mouth. So we wanted to show you the new tagline is superfoods that you could kind of go towards. If you yourself were having a party, you could choose those foods that have more bang for your buck, maybe a little bit more dense, but lower calories and full of nutrients. So we're going to start with a crab and avocado shooter. And some people avoid avocados because they don't really know how to pick them, or they have picked them and they're rotten. So a little trick is that when you're at the grocery store, if it still has the little stem where it's detached from the tree, if you pop it open and it's green underneath there, you should be pretty good. They should also be firm, but have a little bit of a give. You don't want them squishy, and you'll be able to tell. The darker they get, the more ripe they are, and the less likelihood that it's going to be green inside. So an easy way to cut it very carefully, okay? There is a pit in here, so I run my knife around that, and then you just kind of twist it off. And this one's pretty good. It does have a little bit of a spot, but we can cut that right out. So we're going to take this carefully and hit the pit, and it comes right out, okay? So that's how we're going to cut that up. Now simple, I do it without taking anything out. I just score it right in the shell, across long and across wide. We're going to avoid that little black piece. And then you're just going to run your knife right up under all those, and they come out in perfect cubes.
Have a built-in plate.
Yeah, it's pretty much that's it.
One less thing to wash.
The citrus in this recipe, is going to act as an antioxidant for this, because once avocados hit the air, they start to blacken. We love guacamole. Kim's great at making guacamole. I changed this recipe up a little bit to avoid using the chips, and we also added some clementines because they're in season, and it adds a little bit more sweetness to the crab. So I just take my clementine, I cut that in half, and then I have a juicer somewhere, which I'm gonna forget about. And I'm gonna squeeze it right over my hands just to catch any seeds that might be there, okay? And again, that's gonna keep that avocado from turning black. And I'm gonna do the same thing with a lime. So you have a little bit different flavors with the citrus that's going on in here. Now, I also diced up and minced some cilantro into this. So I would do both halves, okay, but I already have some made. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this crab meat. Now this is special crab meat, so it's got the claw meat in it, it's got some lump. It's a little less expensive, so if you're on more of a budget, you don't want do the lump crab meat, you can use this. So we add that in, and then so we don't break up the lumps, we're just going to gently fold that over, okay? And I have these little shooter cups right here that we're going to serve ours in. If you have little plastic shot glasses, or this recipe actually was made to go into an endive cup. You can serve this with chips and dip however you want. And we just serve them like that. So if you have a couple shooter glasses, that would be perfect. And I'm going to give that to you.
Again, very festive with the red and the green.
Pita chip to share with that.
There's little,
Now, how soon in advance can you make this? So if you're having a party, you have all these things to do, and you don't want to do everything last minute. Can you make this ahead of time and
You
refrigerate it?
can for everything except for the avocado.
Thank you.
So what I did was I chopped up my red pepper ahead of time. I chopped up my green onion ahead of time. You can not your cilantro, that will also oxidize. So the last minute things that you want to add into this are going to be your avocado and your cilantro. You can do last minute. When you get your crab, even if it's like the tuna crab that you get in the aisle, you can use that. Just put it in a bowl and gently pick through it to make sure that there's no shell. Okay.
Or mix them together.
Yeah.
Do a mix of fish.
You can do calamari. You can change this out with anything. But everything except the avocado you can do ahead of time. And all of the recipes that we did today, you can do most of that ahead of time.
Okay, so what does this offer you in the form of vitamins, minerals, all that good stuff?
Well, the red bell peppers are full of vitamin C, as well as the limes and the clementines, great sources of vitamin C. Your avocado is full of healthy fats. Protein. Fiber. Your crab is a low-calorie protein, so it's a lot of bang for your buck, and it's something that's going to keep you satiated longer than something that's really high carb, high sugar, where you're going to eat that and you're going to want more of it, more of it, more of it.
Crap.
This whole recipe, the way that it's put together, promotes healthy skin. So everything in here would be really great for a glowing complexion.
And you know what I love about the avocado? It replaces all the mayonnaise and all the binding things that people use for all of these salads that you see that they're out there, and it's not as difficult to keep it out for the whole party because you don't have to worry of that as well. But it's a very fresh, yummy smelling as well too.
Of cilantro.
Well, there's a great one.
Now, you guys always have some nice ideas too at your gym, Core Fitness, which people at home know that Christy has a segment with us on our FYI show. So we do segments with the health and fitness. So again, we're incorporating healthy eating with actually, again, make sure you're moving around this holiday season. I know this reminds me, I try to get to my 10,000 steps or more, you know, reminds me at 5,000 steps, just to actually, you know, that should just be part of your day.
it should be. You're shopping, you can park further away from the store, get more steps in. You know, you're standing around waiting for your food to get done. You can incorporate.
Kim has a couple exercises for that.
Yeah, we'll go over some exercises you can do in your kitchen, but you should constantly be moving. You should move all the time.
They say if you're sitting, stand. If you're standing, walk. If you're walking, jog. If you're jogging, run.
Run around the house.
Good. Do steps.
Well, don't run anywhere, because when we come back, we are going to go and we're going to show you some more great recipes that you can make at home. Easy, tasteful, delicious, healthy, and low calorie. Don't move.
Cheers to the holidays. We are here at Kim Slusser's house. We're with the girls from Core Fitness, and we are cooking healthy. I should say that Christy's cooking healthy. We're just eating healthy.
Yes, we are.
And we have some exercises as part of the show that Kim is going to be showing us. If you're just tuning in, we're looking at these healthy options for the holiday time. You think smart. We want you to spend some time with friends and family, but do so in a healthy manner.
Yeah, and these are just little healthy bites. And what are you holding that squash for now?
This is a butternut squash, which is the appetizer we're going to show you. But something as simple as a butternut squash you can make into an exercise. So instead of a kettlebell or a weight, you have your squash. You can do some squash swings.
Could you imagine me doing that in the kitchen? My husband would walk in and the kids would start laughing at me for doing that.
You
or they can
twist
join in.
and get some ab work in.
Yeah.
like that.
You would absolutely join in.
So you can get those abs.
All right, so while we're waiting for the butternut squash to cook, Chrissy, why don't you give us the
So I'm just gonna-
recipe?
Yeah, I'm going to show you just how I put it together. So this container contains 4 ounces of part skim ricotta and 4 ounces, so equal parts of goat cheese and ricotta. And I zested into here 1 whole lemon, okay? Those are low-fat cheeses. They're really good options, great for your calcium intake. Women need that. So we take a little bit of that. We just smear it so gently across a nice little piece of crostini. On top of that, we have some roasted squash that Kim took and she peeled and she cubed that up nice and small, and she did that in a 400-degree oven.
For about 20 to 30 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. It should be still firm but tender, and you can actually dice it the night before.
Yeah, you can do the cheese the night before because the lemon zest will scent that.
And there's a little bit of sage in the butternut squash.
And then on top of that, she also did some honeyed almonds. So on a low oven, she did about 2 tablespoons of honey with some coarsely chopped, I'm sorry, they're walnuts.
They're walnuts.
They're not. So those are great superfoods. And then we're going to top that with something even better, which is local honey. And my son has some allergy issues, so I know that I always wanted him to be eating local honey because it will build up the antibodies in your system and start to help you build up an immunity for local allergens. So we're lucky enough to have a couple apiaries local, and this is some local honey that we just drizzled over for the sweetness. Okay.
Again, very colorful.
Very colorful, and the squash is great. And if you want to do a little bit of a little booster for your metabolism, you could put a little pinch of cayenne or cinnamon on that. Either. Both are
Just
really
throw it in with the
for the
nuts.
holidays.
A little bit of pinch it when you do the nuts.
Kim's gonna serve up the appetizers, and I'm gonna go over to the stove. I have some onions sautéing here on low heat, and we're gonna make our stuffed mushrooms. So here I have some spinach. Okay, so some baby spinach, and then I also have some baby kale. All right, if you find whole grown-up kale or mature kale, it's going to have a stalk on it that you're going to want to remove. So we put that in with the oven, or I'm sorry, with the onions, and we put the lid on, and we're going to let that steam and saute. After that starts to wilt a little bit, we switched out regular sausage with chicken sausage. So that's going to save you about 100 calories and over 10 grams of fat just by switching out from pork sausage to chicken sausage. And you can use whatever kind that you like, whatever flavor they come. But the good thing about this is that it's fully cooked, okay? So all you really need to do is heat it through, and you'll have a finished product at that. So once that's all incorporated, you take it off the heat, okay, and then we have our finished product. To the finished product, the cooled product, we're going to take about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan cheese, and a half of any apple that you have on hand. I happen to have a Gala. It looked really good with the green of the kale and the spinach. Okay, and then here I have some stuffing mushrooms. I just got these at Giant. I cored them out. I reserved the stem pieces. I also added those to that mix. And then we just take our mixture and we fill our mushroom caps with that. And you can see the green of the kale and the red of the apples. That apple just gives a little bit of sweetness to the backdrop of the salty sausage. And then we would cover this with foil, and we're going to bake this for about, depending on the size of your mushroom caps, for about 25 to 35 minutes covered. So these are the finished.
That was quick.
Yeah, that was quick. It was the magic of television, right? So let me serve you ladies out one of these as well.
Wait to see these.
Load me up.
These mushrooms
These
are
oh, look at that.
amazing.
So they have a great combination of sweet and salty. They're very low in fat. The kale and the spinach are excellent sources of folate, which is extremely important for women of childbearing age.
Yes, that looks delicious.
The apples are
this is
a high source of fiber.
Too nice and hearty. You know it's an appetizer.
So again,
Nice
these are recipes that are going to satiate you. They're going to satisfy you a lot longer than a high calorie, high sugar option.
What are some things that we should be staying away from when maybe you're overwhelmed and you see just everyone brings a dish and you just see all this food out? What are some of the things you should stay away from? I know dip is one of them.
Creamy dips are a huge pitfall.
Because you think, oh, I'm only having a little bit.
And if you're watching your diet, you should offer to bring a snack that you can eat. So
right, so you're not standing there tempted that you have nothing, and so
Right.
you have to eat
Right.
that. Where did your interest in cooking come from?
My mom and dad were fantastic cooks. All growing up, they had Saturday night date night every week, so there was always aromas in the house. My sisters and I were all swimmers. My mother always had a full meal, never any sort of boxed, processed anything in my house when I was growing up.
That's so important, isn't it? For
It
the
is,
nutrient
yeah.
value and eating real food, whole food.
Definitely.
Definitely homemade things so you know what's in it and you can stay away from all the preservatives.
Right. And back here on the table are also all of these. These are great things that you can go right towards, is fill your plate up with your vegetables. Your celery actually takes more calories to chew than it does to digest, than you're ingesting. The tomatoes, the broccoli, just bring yourself a little floss and hide off into the bathroom so that you don't have that extra little piece. But you can go with a hummus dip rather than a creamy dip, which Kim has over here, or an eggplant dip, like a baba ganoush, is a little bit higher. It does have some sour cream in it, but you can go towards the healthier options.
Well, you don't have to dig in and take a whole big blob either. If you just do it modestly and get a little taste on it is good too. So everything in moderation, but with that holiday buffet thing and all the parties, if you stick with little tiny portions like this, how many little tiny dishes like this do you think we should eat?
Well, I think it's safe to say that you could probably have 2 of those. I wouldn't want you to deny yourself of anything. These are pretty low calorie. In that entire recipe, and I made a dozen of those mushrooms, and they were pretty high. They were pretty big. I only used 3 sausage links, and those they were chicken sausage, and I think they totaled 360 calories for all 3 of those, spread across 12. Everything else, there was no other added fat other than 1 tablespoon of olive oil to saute my onions.
right, we're using good healthy fats but sparingly
Yes.
in these recipes.
You gave a great tip to us before as well. Instead of using the alcohol for people maybe who don't drink, or if you have kids, what are the alternatives for those drinks?
Oh, we were talking about club soda, sparkling grape juice, those kinds of things. That's still festive, but yet it's not alcoholic.
My kids like the cranberry juice and orange juice mixed together too.
And with the pomegranate seeds, they'll still dance
They'll
around
still
because
dance
the
around. You'll still have
carbonation.
dancing pomegranate
Yeah,
seeds.
the carbonation dancing.
Dancing pomegranates.
So how do you begin planning a menu for the holidays to begin with something like this? If the people are watching and they think, gee, I'd like to do all these little appetizers, but sometimes they have too many, or they
Yes.
have all the same kind, or whatever.
I have that problem myself. I always make too much food.
Yes.
I'm an over planner.
Yeah, that comes from my mother as well. I always cook for an army. It depends. It depends on who are you inviting, okay? What is your audience? Do you have a theme? If you have one food that you really want to make, can you kind of centralize everything around it and make it kind of cohesive? Are you going to serve alcohol? Are kids going to be there? What is your tablescape going to look like?
Yeah, is it going to be an appetizer setting where you're picking, or is it going to be a sit-down meal?
Like how many appetizers?
I would say probably 4 appetizers are good, and then have your carrots and your celery and your vegetable tray just to kind of round it
And
out.
you can make these homemade items and then pick up healthy snacks at the store too. Like we did, we added the vegetables and the hummus. And that makes it easier on the hostess, but yet it's still giving your guests good options.
Well, our time always flies by when we have wonderful guests like you.
Yes.
We learned a lot. I'm sure that you out there watching have learned as well. If you want to learn any more, of course, you could go to any of our sites. Watch us at SSP TV on Channel 13, ssptv.com. Most of all, just have a good time at your parties, just everything in moderation, and hopefully you picked up some tips today. Let's have a little toast again.
Cheers to the girls and Cor. Thank you so much for
Thank
having us.
you. Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
Happy
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas and Happy